Tonight's guest is Ireland's most celebrated style icon and one of the hardest working women that I know. She started modelling at 15 and then opened her own agency at 22. She has inspired me, my daughter, and countless others through her fabulous sense of personal style, her drive, and her entrepreneurial spirit. Everyone, this is a huge honour for me. Everyone, please welcome icon and legend, Celia Holman-Lee. Celia.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction,
Oh,
Darla.
listen,
Thanks a million.
Thank you. I could write chapters about you. And
Thank you
speaking of
so
chapters, we'll talk about books
Yeah.
a little bit later on in the interview. Listen, I just want to tell everyone, I don't think everybody knows this, but we know each other a long time.
A long time.
We actually know each other, and I know this is the timeline because it was 23 years ago.
My God.
I know. And we were sitting, and it was about 12:30 in the day.
Yeah.
And we were sitting in one of those beautiful gold rooms in the Great Southern Hotel.
That's right.
And it was Ladies' Day at Killarney.
Yes.
And we were all sitting there with the judges. And one of the judges at the time was Yvonne Connolly.
Yes.
And in you walked. You walked in with a chair and you looked, I actually remember gasping inside. You just looked like a Hollywood icon. You had this huge wide-brimmed hat.
A black
beautiful,
one.
do you remember it?
Yes, I do.
Beautiful, elegant dress. And you came in and the whole room fell silent.
Oh, well,
you had
so
that
kind of you. Yeah.
presence.
Yeah, they were days to be remembered. They were times to be remembered. You know, when I look back, and thank God I kept a good library of all of these pictures and all these occasions. But I always felt the Killarney races was very, very special. And the amount of superstars you used to get booked to pick the best dressed lady was phenomenal, the people I met through the years.
Keith Duffy, there was Grania Shoiga.
That's right.
There was Yvonne Connolly, of course, with his That Day. There was,
God, there were so many, so many. But it was legendary, and one of the
Rosanna Davison.
Yes,
she came twice. That's
she
right.
Did,
yeah, she's amazing.
So it was just always wonderful, and it was great, really, to look back. As you reminded me there recently, I'll never forget this. I was talking about helicopters, and you happened to be in the company or wherever I had been.
We're in the Ahada.
Yes, and I said to you, yes, we left here in a helicopter, and you said, yes, Celia, I know, I was there. You were there. You arrived in the parade ring.
I remember
just stepped out of the chopper.
Holding your hand in the
Caroline
helicopter. Caroline Moran was with us
there
that year.
with us that year.
That's right.
Yeah, it was just phenomenal. Made those days. I hope we see them all again because they were fantastic times. I have had them, but I'd like to see everybody else enjoying the wonderful atmosphere of best dressed, or ladies' days, we'll call it.
Yes.
The glamour, the style, the hats. Like, I hope to God, you know, it all comes back and people get a chance, younger generations get a chance to experience all that.
There's nothing like it.
Nothing,
There's an
nothing
energy
like it.
on its own. And it also powers the fashion industry as well.
Sure.
In that so many people buy outfits for it. I think it started off the whole millinery industry, because when I first started in Killarney, the hats weren't a big thing.
No.
But they slowly, with Ladies' Day, milliners started kind of opening up in response to
the great Carol Kennelly.
Well, we love Carol.
Yeah, she's just phenomenal.
But Carol now is an international star.
She is, yes.
I mean, she is a star not only here in Ireland, but she now, tackler in the UK.
That's right.
I mean, she has been on the head of Nicole Kidman.
And
her career is it's going stellar for her.
It is, but I remember meeting her in the foyer of, which hotel was it now? The Rose. Didn't know who she was. She came along with her little girl, and I had been asked could she participate in the show at a later date, and I was okay. Who's this young one? You know, let me see. She came along and she opened the box of hats, and I just looked in and I said, "That's it, you're in." And off. That was, she's just, it's great. As I said, some great stars have come out, and got careers from winning or being part of or creating for all these race meetings.
The backbone of the
yes,
fashion
I
industry.
would agree with you.
So may it come back? Obviously,
yeah.
Listowel now is coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know we met in Listowel many times over the years. And
we
again,
did, yeah.
a
Listowel
glorious
is great crack,
race meeting. And exactly what you said there, Listowel is great crack.
What it is it's the first autumn-winter race meeting, isn't it, Orla? And I remember the last one I did, and the idea was it's autumn-winter, all the shops are well into selling their autumn-winter clothes, and the weather was phenomenal on the day.
It was warmer even than today. It was about 27 degrees, something really warm.
And I remember seeing ladies who had brought coats, beautiful, light, summery, gorgeous, pinks coming into early autumn, all these wonderful colours, and they couldn't put them on. No. And one lady said to me, I have my good coat, she said, over there, and I can't put it on the heat. Yeah, but you know, we got a beautiful winner in a gorgeous dress, so it's always,
And again, it's a great excuse, as you said there, it starts the autumn-winter season.
It does. It
for
starts
a lot
for the
of
shops,
designers and boutiques, and that ladies go out, they buy, they get their opportunity to wear at the races.
We all need each other. I've always believed that. I've believed, you know, from the designers to the shops, to the boutiques, to the modelling agencies, to the media, to the fashion magazines, to fashion shows, fashion slots. We're all linked into each other. Once we're all together, Orla, we can all work.
That's it. We're a fashion community.
Exactly.
And that's, I think, what we all need to understand, particularly as we emerge into the new world, that we're a fashion community and that we go forward together and we're better and stronger together.
Well, I feel that one feeds off the other.
Correct, yeah.
You know, we all learn from each other. And
now you've had so many highlights over your career.
Yes.
So you started modelling at 15, and when we sat into this beautiful hotel, you said, well, my first most iconic shot was taken just across the road there. And then you opened your own agency at 22. I mean, like in those days, that was almost unheard of.
I put my foot in the ramp at 15 years of age in Cannock's. It's now Penny's. It was one of the most amazing department stores, and that's where I started. And those times there was a photographer in Limerick called Mike Finn, and he was a brilliant photographer. George would have loved him. He did all the old cameras and all this kind of thing, and the black and white, and I ended up on the front page of the Herald. That was the paper at the time.
At 15.
The Herald. 15 years of age, and that was that. And you know, like I said, I was good at it, and then things went on. I did a big, huge ad for ICI Fabrics. I was only 18. I wasn't married, so I was married at 21. 22, I was married. So it was before that, I was still Celia Holman, and I did that ad. That was phenomenal. And to this day, I must try research it because it's so long ago. We were in Leopardstown Racecourse, and they brought this horse, this racehorse, because when the race course, it was ICI Fabrics, and we were showing how fabrics could make into clothes, were manufactured into clothes, obviously, and the male model, must I say, he was a fine thing when I think back. But the horse came along anyway with an escort and guardie and everything. And to this day, I'm wondering, was it Shergard or was it one of those great race horses? Because it was just the time that he went missing. He went missing about 3 years later. It has been, but every little mountain you climb, Orla, which is very, very difficult. One thing you can't buy and nobody can buy is experience. And that brings you forward to when things go bad and you can readjust your mind to make things work again, because you've so much to fall back on, which I have. You know, I was in Russia and brought models back from Russia, flew from Shannon Airport in a private jet up to the Late Late Show with all the 6 of the Russian models. They were from the Baltic states there were Lithuania and Estonia. And I worked in Boston. I worked in North Carolina, which I'll never forget because it was a Hamish place.
You've actually worked globally.
I have, yes.
You've worked
I
globally.
have, yeah, with those. The models weren't with me, but I worked with the models that I was giving.
And of course now you would have been just out of the Rose of Tralee show.
Yes.
Which I know was so sorely missed.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking really. Besides it being wonderful financially, obviously there's that aspect of what this 2 years has done. I was just talking to George earlier, saying that I have a case in my hall, like the black case there, we'll say, and it never left the hall for nearly 2.5 years. It never left the hall.
Because it was packed with your kit, that's what you need.
Gone, out the door. Have you a pen? Yes. Have you paper? Yes. Have you sellotape? Yes. Have you this, that, and the other? It was stuffed into this bras, everything you need when you're working, or modelling for that matter. So I would have that in the hall. And I only moved it out of the hall about 2 weeks ago because I couldn't bear 2 years without putting a foot on a ramp. Now, last week we did a show on the streets here in Limerick.
You did the first show in Ireland.
We did, darling,
yes, well
on
done.
the street.
Yes.
Thank God the area, it's like the crossroads, I call it, it's like St. Bridget's Crossing, because this way, then there's a huge square. So we used that, which was wonderful. But it has been hard. So losing big shows like the Ploughing, like the Rosa Tralee, like other shows, Mallow, which I've been doing for 32 years, we lost all of that, the big money makers. So it has been very difficult.
Now they will
very
come
difficult,
back, but
yeah.
I think it's worthwhile stressing to everybody watching this
Yes, of course.
is that the events industry has been decimated.
Yeah.
We were the first to close, and it's very likely now that we're going to be the last to open. And it's not only decimated, but it's brought down the spirit and caused huge mental health issues for people as well.
I think it has. Only for I don't think I would have been strong enough, Orla, if I wasn't in the position that we're in. Obviously, I'm in the business all my life. I don't mind saying this out. We owned our home and we own our car. I'm lucky that my Cecile and my Ivan, that they're married. He's a very good job. Cecile is the same. Her husband has a great job. That there was no dependency. Mm-hmm. If there was dependency, I might be talking a lot differently. Mm-hmm. And I know people that have depended and their dependency with family younger than I who've done all this. Mm-hmm. It has been dreadful. So it hasn't been. So I thank God in heaven that we came out of this, and I needed it, because I'm like I've said this 1,000 times, I'm like the old racehorse who went out there and kept going and never stopped, and then I was locked up.
Yes, so maybe it was good.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe it was good in a temporary basis.
In a temporary way, in temporary basis. I thought I was going to go nuts the first few weeks. I was, what? And then after that, I just went down. And thank God I was able to get back, because you get into hotels on our own. That's get a bit of work back.
Those lovely videos.
But you started me, I say.
It was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
Fun. So and we're heading back into another season of it, please God.
So that took me out. That took a few more weeks out of my life, and it was great trying to organise all that.
And a new experience.
Yeah, a new experience and a new challenge. But so from that point of view, has lockdown been fantastic? No. No, is the word.
No. I think the first lockdown, exactly what you said there, was
days.
Much needed rest for people. But thereafter, the answer for anybody self-employed, particularly self-employed in the events industry and obviously in hospitality as well, it's been absolutely hellish. You shared with me, when I had a telephone conversation a few months ago. You said you're writing a book.
I am, yes.
Well, will it be out for Christmas?
Well, no, it won't be ready, because why won't it be ready? Because I can't make up my mind what to say in the bloody book.
I doubt
I've
that.
so much. It's only just that I have
it's
so
War
much.
It's War and Peace, it's long.
It's so much. There's so many aspects to what has gone on, and I'm hoping it'll be a coffee table book. Okay. With lots of pictures, because I have lots of pictures going back over the years that people might enjoy looking at the fashion when it was, with bits of stories.
So it'll be like a memoir with
it's not going to, I don't know what I'm going to call it or what it is, but it'll be a mixture of my life.
It'll be a bestseller.
Jesus, I hope so. I just hope so. Well,
what advice, Celia, would you give somebody looking to get into a career in fashion generally now, not specifically a model agency, but fashion generally?
To know the smell of the trends that I can nearly smell a trend. The minute I see it, I know it, I feel it. There's very few trends that are iconic to us. Maybe athleisure wear is about the only thing. But other than that I wouldn't have seen. Other than that, if I see a little twist coming, I've seen it somewhere before, even if it's in the cuff, even if it's in the collar, half a collar, a long collar, even if it's in the straight.
The way we do the tuck.
Exactly.
They come in.
They come in. So it's just, I would recommend to make a hand of it, to make a good job of it. Mm-hmm. And to be, one thing I would say to anybody that's going into any job at all is your number one thing, you wear the badge of honour that you're a good worker.
Correct.
That would be my number one.
Work.
And after that, then, because by God above us all, the rag trade, as we call it, or the fashion industry, is really, really tough. You know it, I know it, and you have to keep at it and keep looking and keep reinventing. It is wonderful, and when you succeed and it's good, the rewards are fantastic.
It is. Yeah, that's a beautiful note to finish on.
Thank
is that
you.
when you work hard, the rewards are fantastic.
The rewards, they are there.
Celia, thank you for joining all of us. I mean, that to me, you're a woman that has inspired me from that day I met you 23 years ago.
Oh, not
you
at
continue
all,
to
Orla. It's
inspire
lovely.
me today.
Thank you so much for
I'm grateful
coming.
that you're my friend and that you met
my
us
love,
here
of course.
in this beautiful hotel in Limerick.
Yeah, this is called Number 1 Pery Square.
Number 1 Pery Square. Well,
And it's in the
absolutely
Georgian
gorgeous.
part of Limerick City, overlooking our beautiful People's Park. So, yeah, thank you for
visit,
coming.
visit.
And George, thank you too, darling. You're sitting down there in the corner.
George behind the camera.
Yeah.
We can never drag him in front.
Yeah.
We wish you, from both of us, we wish you a wonderful week.